He has a restraining order against her ex. He was violent towards her, and while she was in the hospital bed from what he did, he touched her 4-year-old son. She was never able to imprison him because of lack of evidence, sadly. And 11 months ago, he started going near her again. She first caught him watching her and her son playing at the park. He never directly attempted to speak to her or anything, but he'd blow air kisses at them and stand in line for ice cream at the same time as they were. Not wanting to cause a scene or legal issues at first, she started taking her son to a different park, but the son of a bitch followed her there. And the day she saw him watching them as this other park, she called me. Chester is back. He watches me and Sam when we play at the park. Can you please help? The next day, I walked into my chief's office and reported what I'd heard. But for some reason, unknown to me at the time, he barely even glanced at the evidence. So what? He's sitting on a public bench. How about we just arrest everyone who sits on benches then? At first I refused to just back down. I pushed harder. Chief, he's stalking them. The kid is traumatized. He was on the registry for what he did to the kid. But the chief's response made my blood run cold. Yeah, it was on the registry. He served his time. Can't punish a man forever for past mistakes. He signaled me to get out of his office. Tell that woman to stop being paranoid. I remember being devastated. Later that day, I was sitting in my office, debating what I should do, when Kathy called me. She was sobbing. She told me Sam wet himself at the grocery store when he saw Chester in the cereal aisle. The kid hadn't had an accident like that in over a year. But then she told me she did something else. She had looked online and gotten advice from stalking victims. They told her to take pictures of their stalkers at different locations for further proof. That's what she'd been doing. She sent me the pictures of Chester at both the parks as well as the grocery store. I thanked her and immediately stormed back into the chief's office with them on my phone. But this time, he didn't even pretend to be professional. This woman needs to stop looking for problems when there aren't any. Maybe if she'd been a better mother to the boy and kept an eye out, none of this would have happened in the first place. My blood ran cold. No cop talks like that about victims unless something else is going on. And so I quietly started digging. I pulled some strings to get some personal information about the chief, just about his family and past. I had a suspicion that somehow he might have known Chester more than just knowing the case. And it turns out I was correct. Chester and my chief had different mothers, but the same father. They were half brothers. I knew then that getting the chief to act in regards to Chester was going to be impossible. And so I went overhead. I reached out to the captain at the state police, the chief's superior. He was a hard ass who'd worked crimes against children for 20 years. When I laid out everything, including the family connection, his jaw tightened. My stepfather touched me when I was 7. The local cop said I was making it up for attention. No kid is going through that on my watch, and he moved fast. Within 48 hours, he had a state investigator tailing Chester and documenting multiple violations of the registry requirements for staying away from children. But he wanted more. He wanted not just Chester, but the chief too. He asked me to wear a wire to my next meeting with the chief, and I did. I remember sweating buckets, hoping I wouldn't be caught. Police officers, have you ever